There is a poison that exists in the WNBA, a true poison. And I say that with everything in me. There is a poison in this league, and it was exposed so very clearly with Sophie Cunningham's comments about the trans community and basketball and the WNBA and her not wanting to play against dudes. I said it, dudes, men. And the poison has been exposed. The poison, because the response that has come from Sophie Cunningham telling the truth is unbelievable. Starting off with Cheryl Reeve in her ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous commentary. Cheryl Reeve, who is a WNBA coach, for those of you that do not know, if you're seeing my video for the first time, if you have not watched 1 second of the WNBA, Cheryl Reeve seems to be the person that they go to in the media for comments on transgendered stuff, homosexuality, lesbianism, and everything under the sun. Everything under the sun. But most recently, again, they asked Cheryl Reeve about what her opinion is on the trans sports bans. I mean, and we're gonna jump on in this thing right now because it has gotten to a point where there's something wrong with these individuals. At some point, people like Cheryl Reeve forgot she was a woman first. Like you're a woman first, you're a lesbian second, I presume. Not a lesbian first, then a woman, but a woman first. Just like Sophie Cunningham is a woman first. At some point, the women in the WNBA forgot that they're women and that transgendered females, I guess is it? Is it transgendered females? I don't even know what you call it anymore. I'm serious. I don't even male saying he's a female, male removing body parts to become a female, or not even removing body parts, but just saying I'm a female. They should not be playing against women in sports. I don't care at any level, whether you're in the 3rd grade, the 6th grade, the 9th grade, the 12th grade, college, and definitely not professional. It's already happening in college sports. It's already happened in high school sports. It should not happen. Women are getting hurt competing against men. Women are losing opportunities competing against men. So listening to Cheryl Reeve right here, let's jump on in right here. Welcome back, everyone, to Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave your comments. Hype the video, of course. I want to hear what you guys say because this is a poison. This league is poisoned by insanity. Utter insanity, folks. It's nuts. Let's listen to Cheryl Reeve first. Then we're gonna get into Stephen A. Smith. Or first we're gonna do Sophie Cunningham, and then we're gonna get into Stephen A. Smith, who had a lot to say about this topic as well. Let's listen to Cheryl Reeve right here.
Made a ruling that states can uphold bans on keeping trans players out.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what that means, like as a leader in women's sports?
Yeah.
Did that weigh on you? What's your fears for the future of women's sports?
Yeah, of course it weighs on me. The attack that trans people, the attacks they've gone through for the last, I don't know, I mean, the current administration for sure, it seems like it's gotten really way more aggressive. It's sort of sickening when you think about the issues that they're trying to tackle that there's really not issues. The number of transgender athletes that they're making now laws for and creating a problem to get elected. And so to give them credit that they found something that resonated with their group. What I'm hopeful for is that people have gotten themselves more educated and they understand that that's actually not a problem. That's not an issue. And together, I think that where you do have maybe some challenges with regard to biological perceived strengths, um, there are guardrails in place in anything that we do. And there's no reason why we couldn't get together and do that because exclusion is never the answer. Separate isn't equal. And trans lives matter. And so to take away something so valuable that sports brings to young people in particular, and what it does, as I have a youngster and encourage them to be a part of a team and what it gives you in the way of, whether it's teamwork, leadership, competitive, all the things, they have every right to that as well.
Yo, you can't make this crap up. God almighty, this woman's nuts. This woman's categorically nuts. She's out of her mind. She might be a great basketball coach, but she's absolutely out of her damn mind. Lost her shit. Like straight up. She's out of her damn mind. But for real, man, she's categorically out of her mind. She's talking about it's separate, it's not fair, da 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 da. Lady, you notice how she made it about the administration. About the administration. Somehow she's blaming the president. She's blaming the political folk when she should just be acknowledging that science exists and there's men and there's women, and that a man does have an inherent advantage over a woman in strength and all that stuff. Did you not watch the volleyball player from San Jose State spike the ball off people's faces and break their faces? Literally break their faces. A guy who decided he was a girl. Yeah, he broke their faces. What are you talking about, bro? They have something, they have something called, in at the recreation level in most cities, they have something called recreational co-ed sports. I coached co-ed sports. So yeah, if you're a girl, you can play with the boys, but at a certain age level, that stops. It stops. Because at a certain age level, the boys just are way too strong. From the ages of 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe up to 10, it's kind of you can be kind of equal in certain situations. I had a real good goalie that played for my team. It was a girl. She was fantastic. She actually ended up playing competitive club soccer. She's really good. And I knew it just watching her. She was really good. And she was 10 years old. She was obviously in the older side because a 6-year-old and 7-year-old girl, a 6 and 7-year-old boy, they're not. They are not anywhere near skilled enough. But again, you can get away with it until you're about 10 or 11 years old, maybe. And then at that point, you've got to separate them. You got to separate them. So who's stopping kids? Who's stopping little kids? No one's stopping little kids. No one's stopping little kids. I know I did say, I don't care if it's the 3rd grade, the 6th grade, the 9th grade. It does exist for 3rd graders that they play co-ed sports. Because a lot of times girls are ahead of boys at that point in terms of physical development and growth. But when you're talking about high schools, I've seen high schools. There's boys competing against girls in high schools. That's not right. Colleges, that's not right. So what do you think would be next? The WNBA. And that would not be right. It would not be right. Why don't you just give away your jobs to a bunch of boys? Bronny James, for what people use him all the time as the punchline, but he'd be the best player in the WNBA. He would score 60 a game in the WNBA. He would annihilate them. And he is a end of the bench player in the NBA. And there's a bunch of G leaguers and the like that would go into the WNBA and absolutely massacre their asses. They wouldn't have jobs. They would not have jobs. So you want to make the WNBA a 3rd level men's league? We could do that. No one in the WNBA would have a job left. So you got to be very careful when you say, oh, it's you have a problem with something. No, you should actually, your first and foremost concern, Cheryl Reeve, should be to protect women's rights, not protect the transgendered rights. Because no one's sitting here talking about the hate. What hate have they received? Who's hating them? I don't hate anybody. I don't know anybody hates anybody. We just don't want boys competing against girls at this level, or at the high school level for that matter, or in the college level for that matter. It's a huge difference. If a sport is co-ed, it's perfectly fine, but that's at the rec level when you're a little kid, not when you're 17 years old. Like the best high school basketball team in America for boys would absolutely massacre the best combination of talent in the WNBA, and I could probably go 500 teams deep. It's ridiculous. So for her to get up there and say that crap, it's embarrassing. So now you have Sophie Cunningham having to defend herself. I mean, it's utterly crazy. Let's take a listen to Sophie Cunningham. Okay, right here.
On that same vein, in that story with ESPN, you talked about wanting to protect young girls who shouldn't have to go against biological men. Just can you expand your viewpoint on that?
I mean, I think I said what I said. I think it's kind of common sense. And I think I'll always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children. And that's little girls who are also involved in that category. And so I stand on what I said, and I always believe that.
Yeah. Do you see your advocacy on that like taking any form going forward?
I don't know. I'm not a very political person, but I do have beliefs. I have morals, and I'll always stand on those and be true to who I am. And I think people are going to take it how they want to take it, but I've never even really said anything about that. And so when it comes just to protecting young girls in sport and women in sport, I feel very strongly about that. I think that's why you have Title IX. That's why you have some of the greats in women's sports. If Title IX and women's sports weren't protected, then you wouldn't hear about any type of women in sport. And so I think in the future, it's just really important to protect.
Do you think, I guess, along the line like that, it goes against perhaps some people might say, hey, for the trans community, this could be something that could come back on us or be targeted against us. Like, how do you, I guess, view that sort of critique?
Like I said, I extend love, and I don't dislike anyone. Like, I think there is room for absolutely everyone here. And I think there's room to love everyone. And I truly think when you get people in the same room and you have conversations, you actually have a lot in common with a lot of people. And so I'm there to love, but I'm also there to love biological women. And I think that there are rights that need to be protected. And like I said, I'm going to stand true to that. I'll never falter in my beliefs in that, but I have never once said I hated the trans community. Like I said, I think there's space for everyone.
So let's jump in on this thing. Again, no one's ever talking about hating anybody. It's funny how they try to flip words and make it like, oh, you don't want transgendered people playing in women's sports. Again, the first and foremost concern of women should be that they have women's sports. And the fact that there's some people out there, or seemingly a lot of people in this league, in this WNBA, that don't think that's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, honestly. You're worried about the 1% of the nation's population over, I don't know how many women are in this country, because the transgender community equates to about 1%. How many women are in America? How many women are in the United States? Against 51% of the country. I mean, and I'm curious to know how many of these 2.8 million reportedly transgendered individuals are men who have decided that they're women. So what you're saying is like half of that. So 0.5%. Because there's not a girl who's becoming a boy to compete against boys. Like you got no chance, realistically. It's almost, it would not. You don't do it. It doesn't happen. You don't see girls saying, "I'm gonna add this. I want to be a boy now, so I can go compete against guys that are twice my size." Doesn't happen. So this country is this is what this country, people in this country have now turned into. Everything's is an activist approach. Everything is a program, an agenda. And here we got a WNBA player sitting here saying, I want to compete against women. I want to protect women. And you have women saying, nah, 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 nah. We don't want to protect women. We want to protect 1%, a half a percent of the community of this country. Because this country decided, oh no, we don't want to have guys competing against girls. Listen, no one said they can't compete. You just got to compete against boys. That's it. No one said you can't compete. You just can't compete against women. You got to compete against men or boys. Not complicated.
What about Connecticut today? Tell us a little bit about the game. What are you thinking about?
Okay, forget that. Let's jump right in now to Stephen A. Smith, who he backed up Sophie Cunningham, and I love it because this is something that a lot of people aren't on the national media won't say out loud, which is wild. I mean, why is it that men have to be the ones that make sense all the time in this stuff? And mind you, there's a bunch of weirdos out there, men that think that males should compete against females too. I mean, the same individuals that think that men should be able to go into girls' bathrooms. Like if you have a girl, a young daughter, how do you feel? Hell, a wife, a sister, a mother. You want to have guys going into the bathroom? Yeah, I mean, okay.
I think there's room to love everyone. I truly there's room for absolutely everyone here, and I think there's room to love everyone. I truly think when you get people in the same room and you have conversations, you actually have a lot in common with a lot of people. I'm there to love, but I'm also there to love biological women, and I think that there are rights that need to be protected. And like I said, I'm going to stand true to that. I'll never falter in my beliefs in that, but I have never once said I hated the trans community. Like I said, I think there's space for everyone. I can't applaud her enough. This notion that you're hating on the trans community because you are not a proponent of them participating in female sports is utterly ridiculous. Sophie Cunningham said every word right on the money. There's no hate involved. There's only love we're talking about. But what happened to loving girls who are born biologically as girls? What about their rights? What about fairness associated to them? Leah Thomas, I'm going to keep bringing that name up. 400th plus in the world competing as a male, transitions to female, and he was number one. If we're going to act like transitioning from male to female doesn't involve an advantage for that trans athlete, I have nothing to say to you. You're not exercising common sense.
Folks, this is the community that practices in science and tells you everything about science when it came down to COVID. And then here we are, something that's clear science, and they don't like science. It's crazy. They don't like science. You can't explain this insanity. And then you have the Breonna Turner posting about how blah, 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 blah. She goes into this speech about binary, non-binary, chromosomes, and this, that, and the third. Bruh, you got a dick, you're a dude. You got a dick, you're a dude. You got a vagina, you're a female. I hate being crude and crass like that, but you got a dick, you're a dude, and you have a vagina, you're a female. It's that simple. It's that simple. What are we talking about? I don't know why this conversation would never have happened in the 90s, 80s. Like the thought of this is unheard of. Back then, is you were just gay or straight. And then, of course, listen, I've never had a problem with a homosexual person. It doesn't matter to me. Like I keep telling people I have it in my family, but it's like, bro, you do you. You do you. That's your life. I don't hate anybody. But this whole attitude that if you don't love it, that means you hate it. No, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I don't hate them. I don't love the lifestyle, but I don't hate them. Why would I hate them? I think it's something that you're born with. I don't believe you choose it personally. Some people believe you choose it. I don't believe you choose it, especially not if you're a man. Men don't choose that. Women and girls might experiment with stuff because they're curious, but dudes don't experiment with that. Like that's not an experiment thing for a guy. It's you just born that way. And you can typically tell early on when the kid is based on mannerisms and things the kid does to pretty much have an idea. Yeah, I knew that young boy was gay when he was like 6, like type shit. You had a feeling just by things that he did. And it is what it is. But sitting here talking about trans athletes competing against women, Leah Thomas, he mentioned it. Like that guy was shitty in men's sports, becomes a woman, and is destroying people in women's sports. I mean, he still did lose in some races to women, but that should tell you. But he was coming in like the top 10. He finished first in one race. You think that's fair? Don't tell me life isn't fair. Life isn't fair, but it's life. But there should be a certain fairness in terms of I'm competing against the same sex for a national championship in college. Like I should be at least competing against the same sex. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. This stuff is bananas. Cheryl Reeve is a lunatic. She might be a great coach, but she's a lunatic. Sophie Cunningham's got it on. I mean, it said it 1,000, 10 toes deep, the whole nine. And the shock is that there's no women in this damn league that will support this, that will back her. This is where I say, Caitlin, where you at? Where you at, Caitlin? Because Sophie backs you. Where are you? Are you going to back her? Stand with that woman. Because clearly, not a lot of them have the freaking stones to do it. So I salute Sophie Cunningham because no one else will say it. And the fact that no one else will say it just shows you the poison that is in the WNBA. The league is poisoned by crazy people. Y'all leave y'all comments, thoughts, like, subscribe. I appreciate y'all. God bless Hurricane. This is her game, her way, women's basketball, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.